We shall commence this module by defining unemployment. Unemployment, as defined by the International Labour Organization, occurs when people are without jobs and have actively looked for work within the past 4 weeks. In other words, a situation in which workers in the labor force who are capable and willing to work do not get employment is known as unemployment. The unemployment is often measured using the unemployment rate. This is the number of people who are unemployed divided by the total number of people who constitute the labor force. After studying this module, you would be able to know about the increasing trend of the unemployed strength in India, understand the positive relation of unemployment with population growth in India, analyze the alarming state and the need of the country to industrialize with sustainable development, understand the demographic features of the country with the role of youth and growing personnel, their contribution and approach to unemployment. Now let us discuss unemployment in detail. Classical unemployment. In this case, the number of people who are looking for jobs, the job seekers, exceed the number of jobs available or the vacancies in the labor market. However, the problem here is not aggregate demand failure. In this situation, the market equilibrium wage is lower than the real wage. In simple terms, institutions such as the minimum wage deter employers from hiring all the available workers because the benefit of hiring them, that is the marginal product of labor, according to some economists, this type of unemployment can be lowered down by making wages more flexible. The abolishment of employee protection or minimum wages to make the labor market more like the financial markets. Conversely, making wages more flexible allows employers who are adequately staffed to pay less with no corresponding benefit to the job seekers. If one agrees that the lower incomes lead to people to spend more and more on necessities, then the flexibility of wages can pave the way for higher unemployment rates in the short run. Keynesian unemployment. During the Great Depression, the classical theory defined the economic collapse as simply a lost incentive to produce. Unemployment on a large scale was the result of the hiked rigid real wages. Cutting wages was the appropriate solution to this problem. Initially, he put forward the argument that when employers and workers sit for negotiations, they never really determine the real wage, but nominal wages, which is obviously not a barter kind of a framework. It is cumbersome to enforce cutting of normal wages due to several wage contracts and laws. Classicals also agreed to this phenomenon of the labor market. As opposed to the Keynes, they proposed abolishment of unions, minimum wages and contracts which are written for on a long term basis, making the labor market more flexible. On the other hand, Keynes proposed that even without unions and cuts in the nominal wages, they will be resisted till there is a fall in the other prices or the overall price level. His prediction that mass unemployment would be necessary to deflate the sterling wages back to the pre-war gold values had been proven right in the 1920s. He also laid forward the argument that the real wages had to be lowered down to push employment levels, and with this reduction in the nominal wages, we would have been a greater reduction in the prices. This will, however, lead to reduction in aggregate demand level for the output post the reduction in the demand by the consumer side. In turn, it will also reduce the business of the firms. Sales revenue would be lowered with the reduction in profits. Investments would hardly hit, with previous investments getting riskier. So, in all, we can say that cutting wages can prove to be harmful, let alone it will increase expectations of the business. Now, let us discuss the types of unemployment in India. Seasonal unemployment. Seasonal unemployment takes place when the particular occupation is not demanded in certain seasons. This type of unemployment occurs when an occupation is not in demand for certain seasons. For example, in the agriculture sector, seasonal work can be encountered more often. In the event of the peak times in agriculture, when the crop is ready to be harvested, a huge amount of work is required, for which more people are needed. Likewise, in the sowing season, the weeding season, the transplantation period, huge amounts of work is involved, and thus there is a demand for labor. Hence, in this period, we see that there is a hike in the level of employment. But when the season ends, agricultural labor, especially those without any land or those who do not have enough of land to meet their subsistence levels, the landless labor, the marginal farmers, etc., they remain unemployed. Voluntary unemployment. People who are not willing to work at the market determined wage rate, and people who receive continuous income flows from their assets or any other sources and need not work, such people are also included in the voluntary unemployed. Frictional unemployment. Frictional unemployment, or we could call it search unemployment, occurs from the inevitable waiting period to find a new job. The cyclical unemployment is such kind of unemployment which occurs when businesses do not require sufficient labor. They cannot employ more people because the business cycle has either reached the bottom, and where the unemployment is extreme, or is going down, is sliding downwards. Such unemployment is removed when the business cycle reaches its peak, and for such type of unemployment we would call it cyclical unemployment, where there are ups and downs along with the business cycle. Disguised unemployment, this occurs when more than the necessary number of people are employed for a specific work. For example, in agriculture we might find that all the members of the family work together on one farm. Suppose it happens that 3 or 4 people could work on the farm given the size of the farm, but actually 10 people are doing the same job on the farm. So, this may lead to a situation where the remaining 6 people who are employed on the farm are actually not contributing anything to the output. This is known as disguised unemployment. Unemployment is a daunting problem both for the developed and developing economies. India is one of those developing economies which continue to have a problem of unemployment and underemployment despite continuous policies which emphasize and the programs to eliminate the problem. There are certain terminologies which have to be understood in this context. Labor force participation rate. The labor force participation rate indicates about the percentage of population which is already engaged in any kind of work and ready to work given the employment opportunity. In other words, the labor force includes both the workers or the employed and the unemployed. The labor force participation rate is defined as the proportion of persons or person days in the labor force per 1000 persons or person days. LFPR, labor force participation rate, is equal to number of employed persons plus number of unemployed persons whole divided by the total population multiplied by 1000. And there were around 469.96 million labor force, which constitutes 43% of the total population of India, which is estimated to be around 1092.9 million by the end of 2004 as on 1st January 2005. In the recent periods, at the end of 2007, the labor force in India increased to 471.7 million. Now, worker population ratio, WPR, this measures the percentage of persons who actually work or are employed out of the total population. Worker population ratio excludes the percentage of unemployed from the labor force participation rate, and the WPR is defined as the proportion of the persons or person days employed per 1000 of the population. Therefore, WPR is equal to number of employed persons divided by total population into 1000. In India, there were about 459 million workers during 2004-05, consisting of 42% of the country's population, and the workforce has increased to 461.4 million in 2007-08. Now, we will move on to discuss and analyze the trend in the data that is available. The unemployment rate in India is measured in three ways according to the National Sample Survey Organization NSSO, based on the usual status, that is US, the currently weekly status CWS, and the current daily status CDS. The usual status, it is defined as the rate of unemployment based on usual status, points out towards the strength of the persons which are unemployed for a comparatively extended period of time. The reference period is 365 days and approximately measures the intensity of chronic unemployment. Additionally, those who are having a engagement in the activity for a considerable period of 365 days before the survey date, B, remaining persons who were engaged in that activity for at least 30 days during the 365 days reference day period. These are termed as to the usual principal status and the usual subsidiary status respectively. Finally, the usual principal status and the usual subsidiary status consists of both categories of persons A and B. Weekly status. The weekly status includes both chronic and intermittent unemployment of workers characterized as the usually unemployed, caused by the seasonal fluctuations in the labor market. According to the current weekly status approach, a person was considered as unemployed during a week if she did not work even for 1 hour during the week, but sought or was available for work for at least 1 hour during the week. Current daily status. For measuring unemployment according to the current daily status approach, 7% days were assigned for a person for the 7 days preceding the date of survey, and activity for each of the % days was considered. A person who did not work for even 1 hour in a day was considered unemployed for the day if he sought and was available for work for 4 hours or more, and was considered unemployed for half a day if he sought or was available for work only for 1 to 4 hours a day. The estimate of person days unemployed on a day during the survey period is obtained by dividing person days unemployed in a week by 7. According to the report on the second annual employment and unemployment survey 2011-12, there are the following observations. The labor force participation rate was around 52.9% under the UPS approach at the all India level, whereas it was found to be 54.8% in the rural sector as opposed to the urban sector, which was 47.2% under the UPS approach. As per the usual principal status approach, the female LFPR rate was 25.4 and is significantly lower as compared to the male rate which is 77.4 at the all India level. The LFPR based on all four approaches is presented below. The approach: UPS rural 54.8, urban 47.2, rural plus urban 52.9, UPSS 57.9, urban 48, rural plus urban 55.4, CDS 53.3, rural 46.3, urban, and rural plus urban 51.5, CWS 58.3, urban 48.3, rural plus urban 55.6. The worker population ratio is estimated to be 50.8% at the all India level under the UPS approach. In the rural areas, the WPR is estimated to be 52.9% under the UPS approach as compared to 44.9 in the urban areas. The female WPR is estimated to be 23.6 at the all India level under the UPS approach as compared to the male WPR of 75.1%. Unemployment rate UR is defined as the percentage of the number of persons unemployed to the persons in the labor force, which includes both those who are employed and are not employed. And this in effect gives us the unutilized portion of the labor force. Among the persons of all ages, UR is the usual status, which was nearly 3% at the all India level, compared to the UR observed in the rural areas. The UR in urban areas was higher, that is 2% in rural areas and 4% in urban areas. UR for the females in urban areas was the highest, that is 7%, followed by the urban males, which was 3%. In rural areas, the UR for males was 2% and that for females was nearly 3%. The UR is the usual status adjusted, which was nearly 2%, with the rate of the urban areas being higher than that of the rural areas. In rural areas, the UR for both males and females was almost the same, at the same level, nearly 2%, and it was about 5% compared to 3% for males. The URs measured in the CWS were higher than those obtained from the usual status adjusted for all the categories of persons. At the all India level, the UR CWS was nearly double of the UR obtained in the usual status adjusted, which is about 4% CWS as compared to 2% in the usual status adjusted. Like the usual status adjusted, UR in the CWS in urban areas was higher than the rural areas, about 4% in urban areas as compared to 3% in rural areas. The UR in CWS was the highest for urban females, 7%, followed by for urban males it was 4%. The UR estimated in CDS was the highest, nearly 6% compared to those obtained in either the usual status or the CWS. Gender differentials in the UR in CDS was prominent in urban areas. The UR was 6% for both males and females in the rural areas, and it was about 5% to 8% and 8% for urban males and urban females respectively. Now, let us move on to the discussion of the unemployment in the current situation based on the Labour Bureau statistics of Ministry of Labour and Employment. The fourth annual Employment and Unemployment Survey of 2013-14 has come out with certain results, and broadly speaking what we can say is that in the rural sector the percentage is for male 74.7%, for female 29.1%, and the total is 54.7. For the urban areas it is 73.8 for rural, that is for the male, and 18.5 for female, and the overall is 47.2. Rural and urban combined together, the aggregate percentage is 74.4 for male and 25.8 for female, and an average of 52.5. The worker population ratio WPR is estimated to be 49.9% at the all India level under the UPS approach. At the all India level, 49.5 persons are estimated to be self-employed under the usual principal status approach, followed by 13.9% as casual labor. Only 16.5% were wage or salary earners, and the rest 3% are covered under contract workers. The survey results show that majority of the persons are employed in the primary sector under agriculture, forestry and fishing sector. 46.9% are estimated to be employed at the all India level based on usual principal status approach. Only 60.5% of the persons aged 15 and above who were available for work for all the 12 months during the reference period were able to get work throughout the year. All at the all India level, and in rural and urban sectors it was 53.2% and 78.5% respectively. About 5% of the households, there are no workers aged 15 years and above based on the usual principal status approach. About 46% of the households are having only one worker. In about 78% of the households, there is no wage or salary earning member. In about 17% of the households are having one wage or salary earning member. In urban areas, about 30% of the households are having one wage or salary earning member, whereas in the rural areas it is 12%. Now let us summarize what we have discussed in this module. Unemployment refers to a situation in which workers in the labor force who are capable of working and willing to work do not get employment. The unemployment rate in India is measured in three ways based on the NSSO data. It is based on usual status US, current weekly status CWS, and current daily status CDS. The labor force participation rate indicates the percentage of people who are already engaged in any kind of work and those who are ready to work given the employment opportunity. In other words, the labor force includes both the workers, those who are employed, as well as those who are unemployed. Appropriate macro policies are important for generating employment. In other words, one has to examine whether macro policies in India are pro-employment or pro-poor in the post-reform period. Given the demographic dividend, the nation needs to improve upon skills and the education quotient in the labor force.